Hey, Warpugs. So, today I'm checking out something that was requested during Shenanigans, and this is Townsend's making mushroom ketchup. Now, first of all, I didn't even know you could do that. Second of all, I'm highly tempted to try this. I am a fan of mushrooms. I like mushrooms in pretty much anything. I just do, and no, not the weird types. So y'all stop acting weird, okay? But this right here is going to be very interesting for a broad variety of reasons. Number one, it's a historical thing, and I am a man. I love history. I love seeing how people live their lives. I love seeing how they put together basic things, and we take a huge amount for granted these days about how difficult prior to the Industrial Revolution it was to even make the simplest stuff. Even buying a door hinge, even buying door hinges required somebody to actually go in and spend hours at a forge putting the things together. Like smelting of metals, things like that. We just don't even have the actual, understanding these days of how these processes were done prior to a machine doing them. So, guys, this is cooking. It's one of the last arts. It's one of the last things that we don't have completely automated at this point. In some cases, we actually do. We really do. But it's the last thing that people actually want to do right now that we have been doing pretty much since the beginning. Pretty much since the beginning of our whole story as humans. It's cooking. A process which we industrialized, but at the same time, people actually actively want to do in sufficient numbers. Of course, you could say woodworking, things like that, but this is an art form, and I'm fat, so I enjoy this type of art. Guys, Townsend's is amazing at just talking you through things. And I love the period dress here. I really, really do. So we're going to get into this. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Head over to Townsend's if you enjoy this. And subscribe to him as well. Let's jump right in. Warpugs, let's learn some stuff about mushroom ketchup. My God.
Different 18th century recipes and a lot of writings refer to something called ketchup. Now, ketchup in the 18th century wasn't so much like this as it is more like this.
The word
Really?
ketchup finds its roots in 17th century China. The Chinese
Now, the Worcestershire sauce is, you probably wouldn't, if I told you what was in Worcestershire sauce, you probably wouldn't want to eat it.
had a similar sounding name for a concoction that consisted of pickled fish and spices. The British traders found this seasoning to be delightful.
I could say a lot about that statement, dude. If you've ever had British food, you understand why. You begin to understand why.
They brought it home, and it quickly became the staple of the English and American diet.
Today we're going to make an 18th century ketchup recipe with mushrooms. This would be a seasoning or a flavor that 18th century soldiers would be very familiar with.
Okay.
James Townsend and Son carries all the equipment we'll be using today, and you can find each one of these things in our catalog or on our website.
Okay, link will be in the description below. Check this out. If you enjoy this, I might be ordering some stuff from him in a few weeks just to give this a shot. And if I do, we'll put it up on the wife's channel.
We're starting off with 2 pounds of fresh mushrooms.
Okay.
But first, a word of warning. We're using common brown mushrooms in our recipe today. These mushrooms are native throughout Europe and North America. But even common mushrooms can easily be mistaken for poisonous or even deadly varieties. So, make sure to use something you know is completely safe.
With our mushrooms, we need to gently wipe these mushrooms off. We don't want to rinse them off or wash them because that added liquid would dilute our final flavors. And we're going to add these to our tin cooking pot. We need to draw the
Dice it
juices
out.
out of our chopped up mushrooms. The best way to do that is to add a couple of spoonfuls of salt. In addition to that salt, we're going to add a couple of bay leaves. We're going to mash it up.
Now, I might be the stupidest person on the planet. I have tried cooking with bay leaves before, but I don't know if I just don't have the taste for it or whatever, but I've never been able to taste the difference between something made with bay leaves and not. So, if somebody... Now, I always use them if the recipe calls for them, but I don't know what they do, period. So, if anybody knows what bay leaves do to a recipe, please let me know in the comments down below.
Mush these mushrooms down in. And then we're going to cover it and then let it set for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
We've let these set 10 minutes and they've already started reducing. The liquids being drawn out of the mushrooms, and it's already reduced in size a little bit. I'm going to transfer these into a milk pan here. And then we can let this sit overnight.
Okay.
I'm going to put this pie pan on top just to keep the critters out.
Hey, that's a good idea.
The first recipe for tomato ketchup was in 1801, but tomato ketchup did not become popular until the mid-19th century. The tomato plant is a member of the deadly nightshade family, and many people considered it a deadly poison in the 18th century.
What? Oh my God. I didn't know. I had no idea. And, oh. See, that's why I love stuff like this. That's why I love stuff like that. I always thought a tomato was a tomato. I always thought when we found tomatoes, we immediately started slicing them up. But, okay.
Well, let's take a look. There we have it. The mushrooms have completely masticated, and now it's time for the next step.
That's just mushroom and salt.
So now it's time to add in 1 chopped up onion, the zest of 1 lemon, and some 1 tablespoon of finely grated horseradish. James Townsend & Son offers a pocket spice kit. It comes with salt and pepper, cinnamon, cayenne, and thyme. It also comes with an empty vial, and in that vial I've added cloves. In the recipe here, we're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. We're going to use a pinch of cayenne and some allspice also, about a 1/2 teaspoon.
I love allspice. I just do.
And the last ingredient we need is a 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of cider vinegar. We're going to stir up all these things together, and then we're going to put this over the fire and let it simmer for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Joseph Plum Martin's book, sometimes called Private Yankee Doodle, many times it mentions when he's eating that they're lacking sauce for their meat. More than likely, this is what he was craving. This is done simmering now. I've let it cool a little bit, but now it's time to pour it off. And I've got our milk pan, and I've got a squeeze cloth here. I'm going to pour this in here and to let it cool. Once this is cooled off, we're going to take that cloth and bundle it up and squeeze all the liquid out. There's some amazing complex flavors in this. You get the salt first, then some of the other spices, the earthiness of the mushrooms. Very complex, very wonderful flavor. We're going to cork this up. We're going to bottle it, cork it, and save it for our future recipes.
Okay.
So when you're done with the squeezing out the mushrooms, you don't want to get rid of that. You don't want to throw that out. That is
No, I don't want to throw it out.
especially good stuff. You dry that, and you can either leave it like it is, or you can grind it up. Some of this stuff you can sprinkle it almost like salt. It is really, really good stuff.
I wonder what the shelf
And
life
there we
is on
have
it.
it. Our ketchup. Our 2 pounds of mushrooms worked out to be a little over a pint of liquid ketchup. We also have our leftover dried mushrooms. Those are going to be great for future recipes. All the equipment that you saw here, all the utensils, it's available on our website, in our print catalog, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook.
Okay, seriously?
Many
Seriously? This is kind of a departure from the last thing I saw from Townsend, but it's not unwelcome. The process that he showed, the method, not this honestly is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm probably going to order stuff from his website to do it too. It's hard to find cloves. I'll say it like that. It is hard to find cloves. Cloves smell amazing. Just saying. I'm just saying. But it is hard to find some of these ingredients that he's talking about here. Well, the biggest one, of course, being the cloves themselves. I don't know if you live next to a store that does have them, but I've always found it to be a rarity. Guys, this just looks... I get what he was saying with the Worcestershire sauce. Now, tomato sauce is a lot thicker, it seems, or at least more opaque. But I'm really thinking about trying this just to tell you guys how this actually works out and showing you on the wife's channel. I don't know when I'd be able to do it, but I think I'd want to try. Ever since we got Max Miller's cookbook, I've been wanting to try something out of there. We just haven't had the opportunity yet. War Pugs, this is the kind of stuff that it just interests me because of how much you learn. Like tomatoes. The little factoids here. The little factoids he sprinkled out through here. Tomatoes were viewed as poison. And now you can't get a sandwich without one. You know what? I'm waiting for the fat files to tell me why you can't get a sandwich without tomatoes. It's just a rule. But I am going to try this. Not only do I really like mushrooms, I like them on like I said, I like them on pretty much everything. I also think that this would be a fun thing for me in the hospital to try. I just wonder what the shelf life is on stuff like this. How long it can sit. And how long you can essentially just have it. Because if the sauce itself lasts like a month while refrigerated, then that is just perfect. That's just peak. War Pugs, I'm gonna head out from here. Mushroom ketchup. This was something I didn't expect. I'm glad I didn't expect it. When it came in, I was just like, how do you make ketchup out of a mushroom? But now that I see the process that goes into it, everything of that nature, I kind of get it. War Pugs, I hope you enjoyed this because I know I did. Hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and of course, go check out Townsends. All links going to be in the description below. Join us member for Patreon for early access. I'll catch you War Pugs next time.